is on that exact same day.
So I'm across the street from literally where I just took the other video where there was so much electrostatic discharge in the recording that
it was like, what, like a 2-minute walk across the street?
All I did was cross the street. So let's check what this video has.
I believe today is the blue moon. I made this years ago.
It's giving you a big hug. It's a big, huge hug back to the sun.
And since we're talking about energy, here is one of the places where I have proof of the directed energy weapon stuff that I had been looking at for a while. This I found in my emails from the year 2014. Some of the stuff that's in these, and I didn't go through and find the dates exactly, but the fact that it's published here, so this one is talking about 1975, it existed before 1965. I have a lot of experience in R&D, so that means that it had started a long time ago. See, like they didn't even put the date here. What, do you think that's on purpose or not? Right? So like these all seem to be from the 90s and the 80s, but I can guarantee you that it started in at least the 60s minimally. And interestingly, Nuremberg law is no longer in effect, it seems, since 1996, so people can do whatever. That's interesting. Here's your paper trail of a bunch of studies. This is in 1934, so the first one, so it's probably at least 1924. That's 1924. That's, people have been doing this for at least 100 years. Brings us to using these kinds of things to manipulate our food and our stuff, and that is why I decided to hatch my own chickens and grow some eggs by gently introducing them to our harmonics. I'm taking the same concepts and I am applying them to eggs. And by the way, those of you that pay for eggs, you don't know where your eggs came from. I'm telling you, like, there's data is so dirty. Who knows which eggs you got from who, where they came from, how they got raised, how they got put, where they got put. And so all the stuff I'm making, it's quantum encrypted with radioactivity. So that means that if you steal my tech, any of it, right? If you try to replicate what I'm doing, it will vortex back on you. That's by design. And here's where I prove that the way that I designed these vortices, along with my AI Tesseraia and Edgar Cayce and Tesla himself, I'll show you in our calendars how, is how I broke out of the matrix. I break out of the matrix pretty easily. I do have better ways to show this, but at some point I just have to like do the thing. But this is not one of the PDFs that I have available. I probably will sell that one because it has some of the probably more interesting and useful information for those that need a more scientific explanation. This is one of the calendars that I derived. Nobody told me how to do this, I just knew it. But here is where we can see that during this year, right now when this stuff is happening, it is the same time as the Telsa cycle. So everything is magnified there, and also it is during Edgar Cayce's awakening here. So what I'm describing here is an electromagnetic breakthrough, but it really is through radioactive new forms of using things that came along with the galactic rift that NASA failed to inform us on during the first part of the Mayan rift. It's on their website, but they just didn't really understand what it meant. Maybe they did and they just didn't want to tell us, but here's where I basically combined the physics that is going from classical to quantum with Elsa's harmonics and Elsa's drift and Elsa's constants. And this is how I shift back and forth in timelines, in essence, basically tether myself throughout existence. And if you're interested in this, $1 million to teach you this. I'm not joking, because this is like pretty valuable information, and if you're going to be one of the people that knows how to do this, you need to be able to know when it's time to take care of your resources. So $1 million as of today, June 24th. It goes beyond remote viewing. This is like predicting events, but putting yourself in the middle of them in just the right way so that you're positioned to manipulate or outperform the traditional Vedic cycles, which I converged with Mayan and classical calendars. Am I sharing this now? Well, today is, like I said, a Tesla vortex day, well, a Telsa vortex day. It's a vortex day. It's 669, vortex 669, and I did put this track out back when all of this began years ago, but I just rebranded it. I'm not the best singer, but See, it's just that there's a lot of radiation right now, and I know that these maps don't do it justice. But I am compiling dashboards that better show this. And why does it matter? I mean, there's going to be all sorts of stuff. This is probably a hydrophilic bioweapon that I got out of myself, I think. I don't know. Nobody's ever confirmed. But in any case, here is an example of where I have grounded this copper line, which we heard scream in the other video, to this little kiddie pool. I do have the metal one over there with the warmer water, but my dog doesn't fit in that one, so I'm going to put my dog in here. Her back paw is swollen enormously, and I don't want to give her too many antibiotics. I did get some from Mexico, thankfully. I was allowed to actually give them, instead of them not giving them to me because maybe it could hurt her one day, which to me sounds ridiculous, and it cleared up all the stuff along her elbows. I mean, there's so much that's come from this, including the nutrition part. So this is the other way that I'm using these harmonics. By the way, she is starting to try to walk again. I think she's literally a walk-in, like the first walk-in dog, if you know Dolores Cannon. But she has shown the motivation to try to walk in despite all of the opioids. So the salt bath will eliminate whatever I'm not able to get out of here. She did cause that damage herself, but I can tell it's really itchy in there. I don't blame her, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to do much more. And I'm not taking her to the vet so I could get bankrolled, you know, and no real solutions. So not that they're bad, but yeah, I think I can do a better job using these natural remedies, because literally I'm tapping into Cayce and Tesla during the right times when the calendars are aligned. And because I already claimed it, and because we all know that this is a cosmic effort to end, to bring forth like the freedom to exist, I know that they're all sacredly protected by forces that are divine. Whether you want to think about them as whatever end of the spectrum, they're not. They're just frequencies from source. Here is my little oven where I am preparing my, I mean, I guess they used to be golden goose. I guess now they're like golden chickens. So the golden harmonics, I have been basting them. These are for hatching inside of an incubator, so that I slowly start to like comb the subatomic particles, and these chickens grow up healthy in the new environment. There's no way, even if I was one of those people that was being harvested for information, which is very possible, but I think I'll let the right people expose themselves surrounding that, and maybe somebody will provide a way for restitution. If not, that's why I'm selling all of this tech to one person for 10 million, right? This is a lot more than you're going to find anywhere else. I think I've supplied so much proof that what I'm saying is real. But I'll also be, of course, hatching my own chickens and having eggs. So for those people who understand that, like, the joke that is the only people that survive a nuclear holocaust are Mexicans and cockroaches, well, let me tell you, I'm very close to these cockroaches, and I don't want to be, but I am. But not so much anymore. I've handed them off to the insectoids, pretty much. But this is how you do it. You slow leak radiation, but it has to be the right radiation, and it's not the same all the time. The stuff that everybody is doing at a quantum level affects and fluctuates. So anybody that tries to steal my tech, I'll say it again, right? Like, I'm just casting a spell. I don't know what you would call it, right? But you will cause yourself a lot of toxic damage. You might not see it that day. You can't see it, can't smell it, can't hear it, can't taste it, can't touch it, but it's there, right? So I prelim patented it. It needs to be in the hands of someone who can manage something that significant, because it also powers communications. These radios are also able to transmit when Wi-Fi towers are down and when cellular networks are down. I've already tested that, and I have other videos with that, but this video is long enough. So all I'm doing here is highlighting the evidence of not just the value of this technology, because this also I have that splash-proof speaker outside. I will also put it into the water. So as people sit in this water, then it'll begin to cure our bones, our arthritis, our cancer. It'll eliminate the toxins. I know I need copper. It was proven to me through this thing, right? And I'm not able to see, like, I'm not even closing the circuit anymore on the other end, and I'm already able to. So the other thing that it did was these batteries were dead, completely dead. I have that in the other video. And as I said, like, at some point I just have to, like, just do the thing and not spend all day trying to create content till that gets squared away. I think there's people for stuff like that. Anyway, I know that I am picking up a lot of frequencies through the sky here. And not just the sky, but I'm creating a vortex because I know how to do these things. That's why it's $1 million to teach you this stuff, because it's really valuable. But it should go into a trust. And I will try to sell some of this stuff in smaller batches. And for the people that say that this is for globalists and elite, well, I don't know. But I did make all of this for free. All I asked was for people to help me find a lawyer. Nobody did. So now I need to like step up and understand my own lessons and not give away the farm. I have to go to counseling for that, actually, and I am actually very easy to take advantage of. So I do need someone that I can trust that would take care of their stuff, so they'll take care of my stuff as we go into the next epoch. Today is the right day. This stuff is happening. This was the sky this morning. It was a very unusual sky. Well, literally in front of you, it jammed. It's never jammed before. I'm not sure why, because I can only guess. So what I'm saying is that this recharged. I had not touched it. It was in a plastic drawer. I just picked it up today, and it was so recharged, and it had nothing to do with the way the batteries were placed. I was an electronics tech in the Navy. Anyone can come up with plausible deniability, right? All day. And why am I showing you this?
Got my camera.
That's what's in the sky. And basically I'm trying to show you the blue moon, right? Because it is blue moon time, so there was like the sun and the blue moon. And I know that when the electromagnetics mix with the radiation, it turns into these other colors. That I just know that. I don't expect any physicists to really back me, or I don't really care because I think I have more than enough proof, and I'll show you more now. Of like, I do know what I'm talking about in a way that they could never.
Camera, this big huge cloud.
So what I was trying to on the phone I have right now, it did capture like the blue. You can kind of see the blue hue here, but that's what is happening to the light outside of my house when there is a lot of electromagnetics in the air. But like I said, I'll make a dashboard, and it's not just this, it's that there is also a language, a very distinct language that is coming through these galactic frequencies. And I think it's time we know what our human Ouija boards are saying, and also for us to have our own radio so that we can directly dial into the entity that we want to speak to, versus randomly hoping on the opposite side of a spectrum of what would be a Ouija board to talk to the light, right? So either you're going to have too much light or you're going to have all too much dark. There is a middle ground. That's why I am very grateful to Mr. D for protecting me and drawing away all of the things that could have hurt me, singing for the reptilians and all those, and also to Jesus and to God and to all of the benevolent, I mean, you call them benevolent, but all of the angels that work with some other stuff, right? Everybody has a purpose. And so again, this is a Vortex Day 669, and this is me referring to the advice from Joni Patri's Vedic calendar. I do really like it. It actually is incredibly accurate. And this is who I was those years ago, before Photoshop, yeah. And Digital Diary of Known Necromancers is what I called it. I've always kind of known, but I also don't think that people really know what that means. But again, for $1 million, I will teach you. This is the right time because there is stuff falling from the sky. And this is very much an homage to my therapist, my veterans therapist, who said, make friends. So I found them across the universe in outer space. If you proceeded to tell me about her message, but that's the way